What if I told you getting poisoned, blinded, and straight up bullied by enemies is actually a power move in Final Fantasy X? You think I'm joking, I'm dead serious. There is an overdrive mode in this game where pain equals progress, and if you've been sleeping on it, you're missing out on some nasty plays. Today we're breaking down the Sufferer Overdrive mode in Final Fantasy X. This mode is all about enduring negative status effects and turning that suffering into straight up overdrive fuel, homie. Every time your character gets hit with stuff like poison, darkness, silence, or any of that annoying debuff nonsense, your overdrive gauge starts climbing. So instead of dodging status effects, Sufferer tells you to embrace the chaos. Let the enemy throw everything at you. Tank those debuffs and watch your overdrive build up fast. It is risky, it's grimy in a way, but when it's used right, it's actually OP, especially in fights where enemies love spamming negative status effects. So if you ever wondered how to turn that pain into power in Final Fantasy X, this one's for you, homie. So let's get right into this video. So here's the exact breakdown on how Sufferer Overdrive mode works. Sufferer charges the overdrive every time a single turn has passed, as long as that character is starting their turn with a negative status effect. Poison, darkness, silence, slow, zombie, it doesn't matter. If the game considers it a bad effect and it's active on that turn, you're getting the charge. And here's the part where some people may overthink or mess up on this. It doesn't stack. You don't get extra charges for having multiple status effects at once, 1 debuff or 5 debuffs, as long as at least 1 negative status effect is on that character when their turn comes around. Sufferer activates. So you don't need to go crazy on trying to have every character actually collect status effects in the battle. They just need 1 status effect every turn. Once you suffer from that, you will get the charge every turn that character is suffering from a negative status effect. Now let's talk numbers real quick, because this is where Sufferer actually gets spicy. You gain 16% per turn while suffering from a negative status effect. That's huge. So let's do the math real quick. 6 turns under a debuff and your overdrive is basically ready to pop. And since a lot of status effects naturally takes multiple turns, you can build up your overdrive without even doing anything special. This makes Sufferer perfect for fights where enemies love throwing out status effects non-stop. Instead of panicking or wasting turns curing everything immediately, you can let that debuff rock for a bit. You can build that gauge and then fire off that clutch overdrive when it matters the most. It is all about the timing on this overdrive mode and knowing when to suffer and when to cleanse. So the bottom line, Sufferer flips the script, dog. What's normally annoying becomes fuel, and what usually slows you down actually pushes you closer to your strongest move. Pain turns into power. And in Final Fantasy X, that's a scary thing when you use this mode exactly right. Now let's talk about how to actually unlock Sufferer for each character, because this is pure grind, homie. Some characters, in my opinion, take way too long, but it is worth the grind if you truly invest in this overdrive mode. So for Titus, he needs to suffer a negative status effect 100 times. That means 100 turns where he's poisoned, blinded, slow, any negative status effect, anything bad counts. Let it rock long enough and Sufferer will eventually unlock. Unit has it a little easier. She only needs 80 times under a negative status effect. Waka is right back at 100 times. Same deal as Titus. Get him with a negative debuff, let a few turns pass, and eventually unlock just like Titus. Lulu needs 100 times. Kamari takes the longest grind here, homie. He needs 130 times suffering from a negative status effect. Auron comes in at 120 times. And finally Riku, she only needs 90 times. That's it. There ain't no tricks, there's no hidden conditions. Just let each character suffer the required number of times and Sufferer Overdrive mode is yours. Pain builds power, and now you're exactly how much pain you know you need to suffer from this overdrive mode to unlock it. Now, let's put Sufferer Overdrive Mode in a real game situation, because this is where it actually shines. So the biggest thing, or one of the biggest things in my opinion, is going up against the Moboro. I cannot stand Moboro because he deals almost the most annoying status effects in the game. This is literally where Sufferer shines. Moboro is infamous in spamming nasty status effects in the book: Poison, Darkness, Silence, Confuse, the whole nightmare combo, homie. Normally, this fight is pure pain, but with Sufferer equipped, that pain turns into straight overdrive gain. As long as your character survives the turn with any negative status effects still active, that gauge is climbing. You can walk into a Moboro encounter with overdrives ready just from enduring the chaos. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Well, Moboro can cast confusion. So, once, Petrie breath hits you, it's game over. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is pure yes. But if you can actually withstand confuse, if you got confused proof, you can withstand all the other ones, then yes, this mode will actually shine. Another one is Lady Unalesca's boss fight. That is another primary example, actually a huge one. That fight revolves heavily around status effects, especially zombie. So with Sufferer on, every turn your character stays zombified, you're gaining overdrive instead of panicking. So instead of immediately cleansing zombie, you can let it sit for a bit, build that gauge, and then cleanse it when it actually matters. It turns one of the most stressful mechanics in the game into an advantage. What makes Sufferer so clutch in these fights is how natural it feels. So you're not forcing anything. The enemies are already throwing debuffs non-stop, and Sufferer just capitalizes on it. You survive, you endure, and you get rewarded with faster overdrives without doing anything extra. So yeah, in fights where status effects are meant to slow you down or wipe you out, like the Moboro, Sufferer flips this whole script, homie. Moboro stop being a nightmare, Lady Unalesca becomes way more manageable, and suddenly suffering is part of the plan instead of the problem. Sufferer is a game changer if you use it in the right situations. So now you know the deal with the Sufferer Overdrive mode, how it works, how to unlock it, and why letting your characters eat debuffs can actually be the smartest play. This mode isn't flashy, but it's a really smart overdrive mode. It's very gritty and straight clutch in the right fight. If you've been ignoring it, you're leaving out a lot of stuff on the table, in my opinion. If this breakdown helped you out, show some love, hit that like button, and drop a comment and let me know which overdrive mode you want broken down next. If you got your own Dirty Sufferer setups or wild boss stories, let a brother know in the comment section down below, because I would actually love to hear them. And don't stop here. I got a full Final Fantasy X Overdrive mode playlist where I break down every mode, how they work, who is best used for. If you're trying to master this game instead of just surviving it, this playlist is a must watch. So make sure you're subscribed, notifications on, and tap that playlist right after this video. We're turning mechanics into weapons, pain into power, and casual runs into clean plays. I'll catch you in the next video, homie. Peace out.